right, so welcome to Warden Park Disc Golf Course. I'm excited to do this one. This is actually my home course. This is where I first learned how to play disc golf, was on this particular course, so very familiar with this one and really excited to share it with you. Warden Park is located, the disc golf course is located in a city park called Warden Park, so hence the name Warden Park Disc Golf Course. But at any rate, as we go through this, you're going to see that there is some open holes, and there's a few holes that's got some trees in the way, and then there's also going to be some uphill shots and some downhill shots, some shorter holes and some longer holes. So it's got a really nice mix of a lot of different type of challenges throughout this course. And again, I'm a little biased to it because it is my home course, so I really enjoyed throwing this particular disc golf course. So all that being said, before we jump into a whole lot of details on this one, I want to throw a huge shout out to all of the subscribers to Disc Golf Course Tours. I really appreciate your guys' support. If you're not a subscriber, then please hit the subscribe button. Again, I appreciate the support on that. And as we go through this video, if you like it at any point in time, just go ahead and feel free to smash that like button. That'd be awesome as well. So hole number 4 is one of those where it's kind of a little thread. You kind of got to thread the needle through those trees, but once you get through that first short distance right off the tee pad, then everything else is nice and open. And then this basket is pretty much easily approachable from multiple angles. And then we'll just kind of go around the corner to start hole number 5. Again, this is one of my favorite courses. It's beautiful, usually very well maintained as far as like the first few holes go, the first 6 holes or so, and then after that, the back side of this course is mowed maybe about 3 or 4 times a year. So sometimes the grass can get a little tall on the back side of this course, but eventually they do mow that as well. They don't water it nearly as often, so sometimes it can get a little dry, a little burnt up in comparison to the front half of the course. So a little heads up on that. And this is exactly where I thought about this, where we're going to start. Hole 6 kind of starts to roll right into that area where they don't have a lot of sprinkler systems and they don't really do anything as far as watering, so it can get a little overgrown and it can get a little burnt up and a little dry. But you know, hey, it is what it is. So be it. I mean, it's still, they would still mow it, and it's still a great course to throw. As you also see, there's this walk path that kind of winds in and out of the course. So you're going to have to be cautious as far as people walking and riding their bikes, walking their dogs, whatever. You definitely don't want to hit anybody with a disc. We'd want to try to respect their rights to this park as well as our rights. So after we finish up hole 7, we're going to dive into hole 8. This is going to be another open hole. We're going to see quite a few open holes here, going from 8, 9, 10, and then 11 is also an open hole, but it's a little bit funky, and I'll go over the details when we get to hole 11. But these next 3 holes are definitely some really nice wide open holes that gives you a really good chance to just air out the disc and just chuck the hell out of it and have a great time doing it. Hole 9 is going to be a little bit of a shorter hole, as you'll see here in a minute. That is a great hole to try to get a good birdie option. If you get a pretty good distance off the start pad, if you have a pretty strong throw, this is one of those holes that is definitely a good bird option. So yeah, here's hole 9. Like I said, it was a par 3 with a distance of 276 feet. Nice open shot. The fence line on the left hand side. Be very cautious. If you throw past that wooden fence line over there, not only does it count as an out of bounds, but it's like a really steep incline with a bunch of cattails and all kinds of other crap down there. It is very easy to lose a disc, so do everything you can not to cross over that wooden fence. So you won't be happy if you do. Trust me, I've been there myself quite a few times. So like I was saying, hole 10 is a nice little open area. When we get to hole 11, we're going to throw the exact opposite direction of hole 10. So I don't know if you noticed this coming into hole 10, the course kind of bottlenecks right there because we have the school district building that's up here right in front of us as we approach hole 11. That's that building on the left. So that wooden fence along this hole, it kind of creates, because of that building stuff, it kind of creates a little bit of a bottleneck. So as you're throwing hole 11, be aware of discers that might be coming and approaching hole 10. So like I said, hole 11 is nice and open, but it's a little funky because at the end of it, it'll take a left around those pine trees. But if you see the wooden fence there on the left, a lot of discers will actually try to throw it way past over the fence And you're welcome to do that as long as you don't mind taking the risk that if it lands within that fenced-in area and you don't clear that fence to hit and park it next to the basket, then you're going to have an out-of-bounds throw, and you'll have to score accordingly for that. So approaching hole number 12 is going to be a huge uphill. This is, well, huge for Warden Park anyway. This is the highest hill that we have as far as on this course goes. Well, except for hole 16. That can be a pretty brutal one too, especially if you're a backhand thrower. But for the most part, this is a pretty steep hill. We get to the top of this. After we finish hole 12, start pad 17 is on the left. You can't see it right now. We'll see it later. But they throw right through us, right where we're walking right now. So be cautious that nobody's on hole 17 throwing a disc. Last thing you want to do is approach hole 13 and get knocked in the side of the head by a distance driver. So hole 13 is a really cool hole that throws all the way down this hill, and the basket is actually nestled on the other side of that pine tree that's right in front of us. A good approach is coming around from the right, like you're going to see us do here in a second. But if you're a forearm thrower, you can definitely approach it coming around the left as well, whatever style works best for you. So after we finish this, we're going to have an interesting hole here on 14. Forearm throwers usually throw to the left instead of going right down the fairway here, and they'll come around on the outside, on the left-hand side, to come around to the basket. If you want to try to throw straight down through all those trees and curve to the left to hit the basket there, whatever works best for you. Hole 15 is going to be a nice open shot, but the basket is on the other side of those trees. So what I like to do is I just like to hit the fence and try to use the fence as a backboard to bounce off my disc and park it right next to the basket. A lot of times I don't get it that far, but hey, it is what it is. So here's 16. This is the one I was telling you about earlier. This is another little bit of a steep hill that kind of climbs all the way up to the top. The basket is going to be on the right-hand side at the end of this row of trees. And where I usually end up is on the left-hand side behind those other trees over there, and it can be a little difficult to get a good approach on the basket. It's a pretty difficult hole, but all the same, that's what we love about this sport, is when we get those challenges like that. So hole 17 is going to be another par 4. It's the second par 4. The only two par 4s on this course is hole 11 and hole 17. We throw up at the top. Remember when I was telling you, this is where you want to be careful of people approaching hole 13, because you throw right through where they're walking there. So this will come all the way around, and the basket is actually located on the other side of these trees. That's on the other side of these park benches. You're going to see it here in a second. I'm going to approach it from the right side, but you can definitely come around from the left and approach the basket that way as well. Again, it all depends on what style throwing you have, backhand, forearm, whatever. So after we finish that one, we're going to finish things up here with hole 18, one of my favorite holes. I kind of like this one. Here's a good example of what happens on the trail. See that gentleman standing down there in the white, just watching the grass grow? I don't know. It happens all the time, apparently. So you might have to holler at people to move, you know, because a lot of times they're not in a big hurry to go anywhere. So please just be aware of the pedestrians and stuff like that. All right, here we are. We're finishing up at hole 18. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Smash the like button. Become a subscriber. We appreciate the support.